Hello everyone. Today we will be looking at an alternate birth time for Bitcoin astrology. So there are a few different birth times being used for Bitcoin, mostly from 2009, and there is one that I am fond of. But today we will be looking at one that has not been used, at least not that I know of, which is from 2008, and the publishing of Bitcoin's white paper, which is the first presentation of the Bitcoin idea to the public on October 31st, 2008, when Satoshi Nakamoto published in the cryptography mailing list the idea, the scheme of how Bitcoin would operate. And lucky for us, as many things are on the internet, there are timestamps. Things are timestamped, which means we know the exact time that it happened, and on October 31st, 2 p.m. Eastern Time with 10 minutes. So that's what we'll use. This is the Western chart. What I found interesting here is like the ones from 2009, the times that have been used, also has here Rahu and Ketu in the first 7th houses, very close to the nodes. The other one, and the other popular chart from 2009, the nodes are exactly on the ascendant and descendant. Here, they're reversed with Rahu being in the first, but still very close to the descendant. So Bitcoin has this Rahu Ketu as a very big part of what it is, the essence of Bitcoin, which makes sense. The unseen world Ketu, material desire, and success Rahu. All right. So what we want to do is see if we can correlate dramatic increases and decreases in the price of Bitcoin with astrological transits. The first one I want to see is earlier this year, there was a dramatic drop in the price of Bitcoin coinciding with the coronavirus pandemic, which occurred here in March. The first week of March, first 2 weeks, even going back to February, all through latter February, we saw a drop, especially after March 8th. So let's go to March 8th and 12th. 12th is a low, and see what kind of transits we have. So this is March 8th, 2020. And what's interesting here is that we have Sun opposite Saturn. So Saturn is being activated. In this chart, also Mars is in the same degree natally as Saturn on the 18th degree. So the transit of Sun will activate both planets. Sun is a trining. The Sun is a trine away from Mars, so that's not, trines are often good, but this opposite of Saturn throws things really backward, because Saturn, that's its nature, to give reversals. Mars, transiting Mars, is also aspecting the nodes. Remember those nodes that were so essential to the nature of Bitcoin. So a malefic influence on the nodes from Mars. In the 12th house, house of loss. Ketu also in the 12th. Saturn itself in the 12th. Primarily the trigger here is this opposition. If we go back a few days, we'll see how the event unfolds. The opposition of Sun to Saturn. Next date we noted was the 17th. on the 17th, it seemed we had the low on March 17th. No, it's March 12th. Yeah, that's right, March 12th. Right. And the next important date that we noted was March 12th. The bottom of this drop, the absolute bottom, happened on March 12th. So let's see what we have transiting March 12th. On March 12th, we have Venus opposite Sun and Moon over the Sun as well. The negative force here is Mars transiting Jupiter, which is a very bad thing. The day before, we had it exact on the 11th and the 10th. We saw that on those days, Bitcoin was just bottoming out, really hitting, which coincided with the transit of Mars over Jupiter, our good luck planet. And it's all in the 12th. Look at all these influences in the 12th. Jupiter's there, that's a positive, but so is Saturn. As we continue, Mars will also aspect the same degree, transit the same degree as Saturn a couple days after that. You can see already. And here, the trouble continues. From there, it pulls away though. So that worked as far as that. Note how the nodes are now just about transiting the 12th and the 6th Campanus cusp, which were also negative influences, right? 12th and the 6th, yeah, right? Loss and debt. Okay, so how about an increase in the price of Bitcoin? Back in 2017, we had, so I did my research, we had in November and December of that year, 2017, the great crypto boom when Bitcoin became a big public thing, and it reached its all-time high on December 17th. And 2 days later, it dropped by a third. And 5 days later, price lost 1/3 of its value in 24 hours, dropping below 14,000. So let's see if we have transits that coincide those two events. So the first one we'll look at is December 17th, when Bitcoin reaches its all-time high, December 17th. So on December 17th, we have, well, all this time, November, December, we have planets transiting the 10th and especially the 11th. And if we move back a little bit, because I know that the first week of December, Bitcoin was going crazy. So let's go a few days back, first 2 weeks of December. So here's an interesting thing, is that on December 13th, Venus transits Venus in the 11th house. This is a really good Venus. It's next to the moon in the sign of Jupiter. Jupiter signs are good for Venus. And it's right on Campanus 11th house, natally Venus's. So we have a fantastic Venus and being transited by Venus. We'll pull back, as you can see, the approach of Venus. And also Jupiter between Sun and Mars, exactly transiting the 9th house cusp. The house cusp that Jupiter itself is representative of, or owns, you can say, that house. which is good luck, very good placement as well. And then the all-time high is Mercury over Venus, with Venus in the 11th. Sun is also in the 11th. Saturn in the 11th. The moon is transiting the moon as well in the 11th on that day of Bitcoin's all-time high. So those of you who know astrology know that the 11th house is the house of reaping the benefits of your achievement. The fruits of the success is realized. Of course, Jupiter over the 9th ain't bad either. So on the 22nd of December, Bitcoin loses 1/3 of its value on that day, dropping 14,000 points. Mars is transiting the sun, directly over the sun. There's other things going on too. Moon over the 1st is nice. But this is the most significant transit at this time. Other things too going on. The Sun and Saturn have entered the 12th. Of course, the 12th house is loss, things disappearing and going away. Both of those planets are in the 12th as well, have just entered the 12th. Let's go back and see the sequence. So there it is. So we have some correlation. It seems that this time, this event, the publishing of the white paper of Bitcoin, can be used as a suitable time